Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. Don't you just love that logo? Such a cool logo. And we love our theme music. We love everything about this show. We have been doing this show for quite some time. We launched it in April of 2020. And as you guys know, I say it in the beginning of the show because we're always interested in new viewers are joining us, and we're always welcoming new viewers, something like that. And it's always a pleasure. I work in television, radio, stage, and film professionally. I've done it for years, on-air host, presenter, and journalist, writer, stage MC, voiceover artist, producer, all the rest. And we created this back in April of 2020. I've been talking a lot today. I've been on the air since about 7 o'clock this morning. We had a television news shoot, an interview this morning, and it's been a long day of talking. But it's so good to talk with all of you. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. We started this April 2020. I think we're at 630, 40, 50 episodes. Somewhere, I've lost count. We've done so many incredible shows with all of you, and all the levity and all the levity and all the poignant conversations and the great entertainment. It's been amazing. Speaking of that, Lou Castro is with us. Yes, award-winning bassist, singer, songwriter, producer, and also he's with the fantastic group, We Three. We're very excited to have him here. He's going to be with us in just a second, live and direct from Los Angeles, California. Matter of fact, there is the group, We Three. And we're going to talk about the group. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of cool things. Thanks for all the great comments. I see a lot of comments built up here. Gang, if you'd like to comment in chat while the show is live, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show variety series we do daily live around the world. And if you would like to comment, feel free to do that. It's a little gift we have created for our subscribers, those who subscribe. There's no cost to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't be fooled by that word subscribe. It's just, I don't know why they use that word. I think they should just use it. You're liking it. You're following it. You believe in what we're doing. You're believers. You're believers. Or in this case, lovities, right? It should just say lovity. I'm a lovity. Click here and you're part of the group. So subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking that red button there, and make sure you click that notification bell. I can't say how many people sometimes come up to me and say, Jim, I didn't know that guest was on. I didn't know you were on. I like when you're talking, and I like just listening to the show and being a part of it. And I said, well, did you subscribe? And they're like, yeah, I'm subscribed. I've been subscribed for months and months and months. Did you click that little bell icon that's there, next to the word subscribe? Did you click that so you're notified on every episode? What notification bell? That little bell icon? I have to click that? Yeah. Oh, okay. I click it. Boom. That's what happens. So if you're not getting the alerts, about our episodes, click the notification bell when you subscribe. So that's a gift for our subscribers to the Jim Masters Show Live, our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You get to chat live with each other and with us during the show as well. The guest is here. And again, even if you're not commenting in chat, which you don't have to do, a lot of people watch just quietly. We get a lot of private comments from our viewers as well. They're not all visible and chatting. And a lot of people who watch our series later on too, afterwards. You don't have to subscribe, just to chat. We would love it if you subscribe just to support the show. Just let us know that you're enjoying it. Don't forget to give it a like and a thumbs up too. That like and thumbs up. The like is the little thumbs up icon that you see on the YouTube channel, and leave a comment on our channel as well. Wow, we've got a bevy of comments coming in here from our lovely squad, as we call them. And we're going to chat with those fine folks who are here all the time, the faithful. Just a second. Hope your day's going well. As I mentioned, it's been a really busy day. Here it is, a Saturday, and we're working. We have this show now. We've got another show tomorrow. Irish singer, songwriter, lyric tenor George Hutton is going to be with us live from Ireland. For those of you who are watching live and you keep track of our episodes live, he's going to be here 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. in the UK and Ireland tomorrow. That's Sunday. We're looking forward to that. Lou Castro is here right now. And earlier today, I was on a all-day television shoot. I literally just got home or got back to the studio here in a short period of time, had a quick dinner, and here we are. We had some rotisserie chicken. I know you guys are a foodie crowd. Some rotisserie chicken with some sweet potato and mashed potato and gravy, and a piece of cornbread, and a little apple pie for dessert. Yeah, it's kind of good. I hadn't had lunch and I hadn't had breakfast because we were up at 6 a.m. We had to get to the TV studio for the shoot. So it's that kind of day. Busy, 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 busy time. Thanks for the comments, gang. And let's welcome Lou to the show. He's positioned comfortably in his home. You never know. When our shows are live, a cat may jump on his lap. A bird may land on his shoulder. A dog may end up on the back of the couch, licking his head. I mean, with this show, when we're live, anything happens. And we love that. We love the fact that we do our show live. Let me tell you a little bit about Lou. He's loved music since he was a kid. He started singing when he was 4 years old. He says he's reasonably sure he had something to do. It really had to do with his mom's record collection. She liked Frank Sinatra and Harry James, Joe Stafford, Tennessee, Ernie Ford, Perry Como, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Bill Haley in the comments. He would walk around making up what he thought were songs that sounded good to him. He sang in school plays with the youth choir where he learned about voice leading, harmony, and rhythm. He also listened to a lot of pop music from back then. Jackie Wilson, Nat King Cole, Eugene Chandler, doo-wop, Motown, Beatles, surf music, Cream, Jimi Hendrix, Blue Cheer, and so much more. He's also a fan of Wes Montgomery and listened to a lot of classical music over the years as well. In his early teens, he became lead singer in a band, but he was let go because he didn't play an instrument. He was replaced by a guy that sang and played bass. So he figured if he could do it, so could he. His younger brother had a bass that made him really interested in it. And he learned it. He started playing bass. Before long, he was in a band playing high school dances, parks, youth clubs. And there he got a cover gig playing 6 nights a week in Orange County, California. And during the time, he met Gordon Mills. That's right. Gordon Mills, if you didn't know, is the songwriter who penned a lot of incredible music. And one of the songs that he, actually, the songwriter and manager for Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, Gilbert O'Sullivan, Bonnie Tyler. That's right. Imagine meeting a guy like that at an early age. That added to his knowledge, songwriting, being a better bassist, and navigating the music business. He also figured out that he needed to move to Los Angeles, which he did. And the rest is history. There's a lot more. We're going to talk about the rest. I'll let him tell the story because it's really epic. He's had some really incredible experiences in his life. Let's welcome him live and direct from Los Angeles, California. Lou Castro is here. He's in the house. He's all excited. And there he is. Hey, Lou.
What's happening out there?
How are you?
I'm good. No complaints.
So is there going to be a cat jumping on your lap, a bird landing on your shoulder, a dog jumping on the couch behind you?
No, but I did spill my coffee in the studio because I was going to do it out there. And then I thought, no, the lighting's not good enough, right?
The lighting. It's all about the lighting.
Right. So I forgot to unplug the headphones. And of course, everything came crashing down on the floor, including me and the coffee. And
boy. See, you should have filmed that. We could have played that and they would have loved it. That would have gone viral.
It would have been a total Marx Brothers kind of moment.
Does that happen often to you, or was that a one-time shot deal there?
No, I'm a lovable klutz.
So how's your day going? You're there in LA. What's the temperature? We are on the East Coast. We are in the New York area. 30 degrees. You want to trade?
Yeah, it's about 60 here. Blue skies. It's clear. It's beautiful. The Russians aren't coming yet. And
lock the doors.
right. Yeah. And no, it's great. I had a rehearsal with your friend and mine, Gary Stockdale, this morning.
Oh, Gary Stockdale was on the show the other night. He's awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy and a very good musical director and a great musician.
Yes.
So did that, and I've got a bunch of shows next week. And
Yeah.
you know, when it rains, it pours. There was a time there when it was just like dead because of COVID.
Yes.
In fact,
Yeah.
didn't you? It sounds to me like you started your show when the COVID hit, right?
Yeah, we started the show back. I always wanted to do something like this because I've worked in television and radio for a long time, and I've hosted every kind of show you can think of. But I wanted to do something like this where it was my deal, my thing. The flow, the vibe is what I'm doing. I'm the producer. I'm the host. I'm sort of the conductor, and then I sprinkle it in with all the rest. And I flipped the switch back in April 2020. It was just me talking to the camera. We didn't have guests. It was me talking to the audience. That started to catch on. People just really, being a host professionally, it was something I really enjoyed doing. And I did it at a time where there was a very rare window where planes were not really flying anywhere. And as I said a couple of times on the show to people, I had shoots, professional television shoots that were booked in Ireland, Florida, and Texas for one of the shows I host. And planes were grounded back then with April 2020. I was still doing radio shows, can actually do that out of the house. And there were some localized television shoots with other shows, but those other ones overseas and elsewhere weren't happening. They're happening now, which is great. But so there was a little bit of a window in my crazy busy schedule. I said, all right, if I'm going to do it, let's get everything, the lights, the equipment, build a set, figure it out and do it. And that's what I did. Some almost 650 episodes later, still balancing it with my day to day professional work, which gets dicey and crazy sometimes. Sometimes I'm running in here, flip, like the Clark Kent to Superman sort of deal. Here we are. Hey, everybody. Wait a minute. Is my hair sticking up? What happened?
Actually, I meant to tell you, you've got good hair.
Thank you very much. That's also a product of the pandemic. It was usually much shorter, like the guy in the logo. We had just done the logo, which looks great. We're going to keep that. But it was shorter, and I always wanted to grow it longer. And I said, you know what? What the heck? We've got this time. Let me do it. Let me just do it. And I did it. And it got down to about here, Lou, about here. And then we've had it cut, I think, only 3 times in the almost 2 years. And I've worn it professionally on television, on PBS and elsewhere. And everybody seems to like it. They're like, keep it. We love it. We want, it's a
Right.
bear. It's like a lion's mane sometimes because, when it's windy or we're having a bowl of Cheerios, it ends up going and ending up in my mouth. When I'm sleeping, I'm fighting with it. I think I'm being attacked by wolves. So I sometimes sleep with one of those little winter hats on. I pull it down. So when I twist and turn, I'm not going but yeah, it's been a product of the pandemic as well. I think we're going to hang on to it for a while. How about you? What are some things you've done during this crazy time of reflection and pandemic and all that maybe are a little twist to your situation?
Well, I had just redone my studio, so and it was a time to reflect and to kind of think about, hey, what really means the most to you, and obviously being creative and making music is an important thing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, my wife had just retired from
Oh, what was
her
she
gig.
doing?
Huh?
What was she doing? What was
She
her
was
career?
working for the city of LA. She was a inspector of public works for the
Very
city of
nice.
LA.
Fabulous.
So that was great. That was fun. We got to really, I mean, we could always hang out, but we were really hanging out, and
Yeah.
it was good. We were having a blast. It was like a laugh a minute.
It's
We
almost
were
like
having a
you're on
lot
a
of fun.
date again, right? You're like getting reacquainted in certain ways. I mean,
And
yeah. Isn't that
yes,
cool?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. 21 years.
Wow. That's
So
fantastic.
so I took the time I just started writing a whole bunch practicing all the time, and I always practiced anyway, but now I really had a lot of time, so I was shedding a lot of time, working on my upright chops, writing songs. A friend of mine, Michael W. Totten, and I have a thing we call Grinjal Snarf. So we do everything remotely because he lives in Wisconsin, I live in LA. So it's not possible for us to be together when we're putting this stuff together, but we do it remotely. And so we've done probably close to 10 tunes where we've got a bunch of songs that we're going to be releasing really soon. And we have these things that we call Grinjalisms that we post, they're just kind of like, I'll say that they're philosophical rants that come to us. And we attribute it to Grinjal, who's kind of like our spirit guide.
What would be one of the philosophical rants? What would be an example for our audience?
Well, I can't pull it up on my phone right now.
You remember one of them or something similar?
Let's see. Let me think about one. Oh God, I can't remember right now.
You want to phone a friend?
There's been 2 years of them.
2 years,
and it's basically 2 years of them. So now they're starting to repeat.
Yes.
It's kind of wild stuff. We were kind of blown away that it even comes to us. A lot of it is Michael. He's the one that really comes up with it. But we've been writing a lot of songs, and that was one thing I've been doing. Another thing is in the interim, I produced a blues artist from Tulsa, Oklahoma, by the name of Scott Ellison.
Fantastic.
And this was his 13th record. And what was really funny is I hadn't talked to him in probably 20, 25 years. And he gets a hold of me and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" I go, "Well, I'm sitting here shedding and working in the studio." He goes, "Well, I'm doing my new record." He goes, "I want you to co-produce it with me." And I'm like, "Okay, send me a track." So the first thing he sent me was a song called "Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City," which has been covered probably 500 times. And the version they sent me was the version by Bobby Blue Bland. And he goes, "Well, the writers want us to do it just like this." And I basically said, "Well, let's not do that. Let's do our own version." And so he was cool with that. So we did a version, and he and his people liked it and thought it was really cool. So they kept asking us to do tracks. And I had my friend John Greathouse playing keyboards and Todd Wolfe playing drums. And we would do these tracks and send it back to him. So his new record has come out, and we're on the blues and roots charts. We're in like the top 10, one of the top 10 most played records. And it's kind of, I don't think I've ever done anything where we had this much attention.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. And they're talking about us doing a festival in Estonia. That should be interesting.
Yes.
By the way, I'd like to say hello to all the people that are saying hi to me. Thank you so much. That's really sweet of all of you.
Jim Master Show Lovely Squad.
Oh, they're really cool. They're awesome. So anyway, I did that record. We also put out the We Three record called Tribe of Rivals, which was produced by my friend Jimmy Haslip, who played with the Yellow Jackets. Now he plays with Jeff Lorber. And we've been friends for Jeff Lorber's great. What a cool guy. Yeah, he's great. So Jimmy and I have been friends for a long time, and I was the executive producer of the first We Three CD called Occupy Your Mind, and I wanted to just kind of like step back a little bit and have an outside person do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jimmy was the first guy I went to, and it was fun. We had a very compressed schedule. We basically did it in a couple of weeks, mixing, mastering, the whole 9 yards.
That's incredible, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it was. And we had Rich Breen was the mixer, and he mastered it. But it was a blast. It was fun. Um, Unfortunately, everybody's kind of spread out right now. The guitar player Billy lives
Yeah.
in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio,
Yeah.
and the drummer Jim still lives in LA, and I
In
live in
LA.
LA. But because Billy is such an integral part of what we do, and it wouldn't be We Three without him, we're not able to go out and do live shows.
Not right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but before that, we had a whole thing going on. We were able to go out and do shows all over LA and actually make money.
Yeah. And actually make
And
real money. Yes.
well, we were making enough. And the thing is we would go into these clubs where a lot of times people would be playing cover music. We didn't. We had a couple tunes that we would cover, but for the most part, we were doing our own music and we were getting paid for it. And
Mm,
it's just nothing like that.
yeah.
And we had all kinds of people that were loving it. Oscar
Good.
De La Hoya was a fan.
Wow. Wow. That's really cool. Tell us,
Yeah.
again, the names of the guys with you.
Billy Joe, and We Three, Billy Joe Wiseman is the guitar player. Jim Xavier is the drummer. And myself, I'm doing all the basses.
How'd you guys get together? How'd that all form?
So Jim and Bill were on the road with a review called The Kid and Nick Show. And they were basically playing casinos and different things like that. And they got back to LA and they go, let's do some of our own stuff. And I had known Billy for like 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we used to do a gig at Cantor's Deli in the Fairfax district. We were probably one of the first guys to play there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we did that was because we knew a guy that was a waiter there, and he was a great sax player. And so that's how I met Bill, is I met him through that gig. So 25 years later, these guys, Bill calls me up and he goes, hey, he goes, I got this drummer. He goes, you want to play? And I'm like, sure. So we're sitting there playing, and Bill trots out some tunes, and we just started writing. It was just kind of an organic thing. We're jamming and we go, oh, that sounds good. Let's do something with that. Let's take that part and put it here and put it there. And before long, we had like 40 songs or more.
Wow.
And we were always writing, always jamming. Every time we had a rehearsal, we would always be taping so that we could go back and say, oh, that sounds good. Let's do something with that. And so it was completely self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
The first record, we all co-produced the record. And like I said, the second one, we wanted to get somebody else in the mix. So Jimi came into the mix.
That's fantastic. How do you describe the sound for people who are not familiar with We Three?
Well, we're obviously influenced by guys like Steve Kahn and John McLaughlin and Eyewitness, which is a band that Steve Kahn had with Anthony Jackson and Steve Jordan. Wayne Johnson.
Yeah.
The Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
I guess it would be under the rubric of fusion music, but we also like world music a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we like pop music. So we love writing these tunes. We don't want to be so obtuse that nobody can get what's happening. We like to write melodies. I think the best songs, they're a combination of both. We like a lot of color in the music.
Yes, which is really, really fantastic. Marty Thompson's watching from Nashville. He's originally from Australia. Great fan of our show. He was a guest, great guy. He's the Aussie crooner. He actually worked with the Count Basie Orchestra and so much more. He's always here. He says, good day, Jim and Lou. Welcome to the Lovedies gang. Lou, who are some of the most famous people you've worked with? Also, did you ever meet Ry Cooder?
Okay.
Good question. Thanks, Marty. And Marty also did the
thank you, Marty.
Thank
you, Marty.
Thanks, Marty, for that.
I actually play with an Australian guitar player named Carla Granger. She's from Sydney.
Wow.
So Ry Cooder. Um, at a certain point in my life, I was close to being homeless, and I lived in this one room loft. However, it was 100 feet from the back door of the Baked Potato, which is the world famous jazz club where everybody and anybody works. So every Monday night, Don Randy would have Ry Cooder, Dwayne Eddy, Steve Douglas, Hal Blaine, and John Garnichet on bass, and they did this gig. So I never actually talked to Ry, but I got to hear him a lot. And you had to hear this band. They were really something else. I mean, that's 500 years of musical history, right? I mean, that's a lot of musical history
That
right
is.
there. So,
Phew.
yeah, it was
Incredible.
amazing. Yeah, they were something else. And to hear the combination of Dwayne Eddy and Ry Cooder is pretty funny. And you'd go in there on a Monday night, you'd think it would be packed. There wouldn't be anybody there.
Really?
No, it was really a drag. Okay.
Why do you think?
I don't know. Good question. It was the late 80s, early 90s. You know, grunge was starting to happen. And, you know, so that might have been it. I don't know. I think if they did that now, you'd probably see more people there. You know, timing's everything, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's one thing. And then our Aussie friend asked me, who are the most famous people I've met?
Yes.
And
then worked with too. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stories with that. I remember one time we were working at this place and Tony Curtis came in. And my girlfriend at the time was a big Tony Curtis fan. So I asked Tony for an autograph for my girlfriend, and he drew this cool little picture and he said, "To Terry." And he goes, "From Tony Curtis." It was awesome. He was super cool.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. And some of the famous people I've met and played with, I have a band called Sir Sodoff and the Trainwrecks, which is with Vivian Campbell from Def Leppard, and he was in Dio. So it's myself and Vivian and Glenn Sobel, who's the drummer, and Alice Cooper, and Cara Granger from Sydney, and a harp player named Michael Fell. So we used to play at the Spud all the time, and all the rock cognoscenti would come in, and we would have people coming from as far away as Japan and the East Coast just to come see the show.
Just to see the show.
Right. Another band that I played with that I had back in the early 90s was a band, and it wasn't my band. I was a hired gun, but it was a band called Rex Johnson. So it was Desi Rex from a band called Damals, who are from Chicago, Danny Johnson, who played with Rick Derringer, and he later on he played with Rod Stewart, and he played with Alice Cooper. The keyboard player was a guy named PJ Smith, who he's Irish, and he lives in Nashville. Who else was in the band? Well, me and then our drummer. Our drummer at first was a guy named Andy Parker, and he was the drummer in UFO. But for some odd reason, I think he got some gigs or something, and he decided to take off. So our producers at the time were Doug Feiger from the Knack. He wrote My Sharona. And the other producer was Don Was. And they go, "Oh, we'll call Zach." I'm thinking, Zach who? They go, "Zach Starkey." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it was Ringo's son. He's the drummer in The Who.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Wow. So Zach comes and he plays with us, and we're like, "Oh, this is great." So, and we used to, Zach was staying at this place in Bel Air. So there would be parties at the house. So, well, I mean, you know, get-togethers. But one was very memorable because I ended up in the kitchen with John Entwistle and the other bass player, what's his name? He passed.
I know.
He was in a, oh God, I'm having what we call a brain fart.
Everybody does when they come on the show because they're so excited to be here. The adrenaline takes over and erases half their memory. You're thinking.
I am thinking, and it'll come to me in a minute. He was he was known as he was in that band Hawkwind. He was a roadie for Jimi Hendrix.
Well, if any of our viewers can think of it quickly,
somebody help me.
Type it.
Somebody help me,
and we will show it. So that's really cool. Where'd you grow up originally? Where's home base for you?
Okay, so I was born in Huntington Park, California, 5 miles from downtown LA, and I lived there until I was 2 years old. Then we moved to a place called Santa Fe Springs. So for all you Californians out there, it's where the 605 and the 5 meet. Literally.
Yes.
Literally. And when we moved there, it was nothing but orange groves. Okay, as a lot of LA and Orange County was at the time.
Yeah.
Lemmy.
They said
it was Lemmy and John Entwistle I was in the kitchen with.
Lenny, okay.
Lemmy Kilminster.
Lemmy Kilminster.
I think that's how you pronounce it. So back to that story real quick. So I'm sitting there between Lemmy and John, and I'm thinking Lemmy's going to be the animal and John's going to be the very polite, low-key guy. It was just the opposite.
It was a flip, huh?
Well, John Entwistle, God bless him, he was funny and intelligent. What a great musician. Definitely one of my first bass influences. I mean, the Who record, Live at Leeds, you hear that bass tone and you're just like, oh my God. I mean, he's driving the band. Him and Keith Moon are driving the band, killing it. And then Lemmy, just a very nice guy, both of them. But John likes to drink and he likes to have a good time, and Lemmy's really low key. It was just, I was like a fly on the wall listening to these two guys. So back to Santa Fe Springs. I lived in Santa Fe Springs until I was 15. And then I moved to a place called Whittier, California, which is a Quaker town. I believe it became a city in the 1880s. And it's a beautiful place, nice. It has a beautiful artistic community. I believe the Beach Boys lived there at one point. Los Lobos lives in Whittier, even though they're from East LA. Just a really great place to grow up. My dad was into. My dad was a used car wholesaler. Okay, he was into cars, so we always had a different car in the driveway every week.
You did, huh?
And he was every week.
Wow.
Every week, he'd bring home a 57 T-Bird. He goes, check that out. Or our favorite car was the 1961 English Ford with the column shift.
Yes.
And he was into motorcycles. He was into boats. We had this little electric car that was a replica of an Olds 88.
Wow.
So
not bad. Huh?
Dude, I was spoiled. So and we used to go out to the desert every week to Apple Valley and ride motorcycles and basically raise hell. It was a blast. It was great. It was a great life. You don't realize how easy you had it until you grow up.
Until you grow up.
Right.
That's why the key is to never grow up.
Oh, totally. Completely. Well, especially being a musician, you always want to stay in touch with that kid inside.
Yes.
Okay. And so you can be creative, and you don't ever want to get jaded or cynical, which
a lot of people
sad to say, I see a lot of my contemporaries doing that. You try to be a ray of light.
Exactly.
To everybody.
It's the way to live life. Exactly. So when you were a kid. I mean, you started singing at 4 years old. Tell us
I
about
did.
that. That's incredible.
It was, well, it was because of my mom's record collection, and she always had music playing in the house. So I would walk around making up songs that I thought were cool,
Yeah.
although I'm sure they sounded horrible. Right?
Did you ever record any of it? Cassette record you doing any of that? I have cassettes that go
No,
back to childhood, and
no,
I
no,
listen to
no,
them. It's kind of cool.
no.
Yeah.
My funny thing was, neither one of my parents were musical in the sense nobody played an instrument. The
Instrument.
closest the closest anybody came to playing an instrument was my brother, who played bass. Okay, and as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he said, well, he started out as a singer, and he got replaced by a guy that played bass and sang. Thank you, Jim Garrity, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
If it had been for you taking my gig, I would have never become a bass player.
Right.
So anyway, I saw my friend Jim Garrity playing bass, and I thought, well, you know, if he can do it, I can do it. So my brother liked to ride motorcycles, so he'd take off, and there's the bass sitting there, and the amp that he had built. My brother's very mechanical, so I would sit there. I basically commandeered his bass and learned how to play. And because I had a good ear, and because I had sang in the choir and everything, I could hear chord shapes. I knew about voice leading. I knew that you could put a different note to the chord, and you would get what we call figured bass. So for the first 10 years of my life, when I'm playing, I didn't really know what I was doing, but somehow I was able to gig and do what I needed to do. When I moved to Hollywood and started seeing the guys that I'm when I saw the community that I had to be part of, well, that's when I said, okay, I better brush up on my stuff and learn some more stuff.
So who were the folks that you were inspired by? Who were the folks that you were listening to back then that were sort of turning you on to all this?
Oh, well, going back, the earliest thing I can remember was we used to watch a show called the Spade Cooley Show, and Spade Cooley was a kind of a Western swing thing, and his show was every Saturday, I believe, on KTLA.
Channel 5.
He later got indicted for murdering his wife, unfortunately. Another guy from back then was Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because he had his show. Nat King Cole. My mom used to play Nat King Cole in the house all the time. He, and the Ink Spots, and Chuck Berry, and I got to play with Chuck. He was a trip, and the doo-wop groups like the Skyliners, or the Drifters, or the Coasters, the Dovells. Gene Chandler was another one because he did Duke of Earl. The Beach Boys, of course, the Beatles, the British Invasion bands, the Beatles, the Animals, the Who. Then you had bands like Blue Cheer, and the best of them all, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which was also the second concert I ever went to, was the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And it was so funny because our mom drives us down there, drops us off at the Anaheim convention, said, okay, I'll see you in a couple hours. So what was really incredible about that was it was the Ira Parent that opened the show, and then the Soft Machine, and then Jimi Hendrix. And when you're that age, you don't realize what you're seeing.
Right.
Okay. You're just kind of you're kind of gobsmacked by the whole experience. And when I think about it, that was not that was actually my third concert. The very first concert I ever saw was the Shantays, they did Pipeline. And it was at a car show because our dad took us to the car show.
To the car shows, right?
Yeah. He's a wholesaler. So hey, let's go to the car show, right? So and here's the Shantays and they're playing Pipeline. I'm just like, ooh, I like that. That's really cool. I want to do that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm influenced by all kinds of people. I'm influenced by what's happening now. Okay, bands like Snarky Puppy, Tame Impala, Haim, Kendrick Lamar. There's just so much to listen to and learn from, whether it be from the past, the present, or the future. There's just, you know, I'm like a sponge. I can't get enough of it. I want to hear it all.
Have you worked with Eddie Taduri?
Lots of times.
Here he is. He says, "Yo, Lou."
Yo, Eddie. In fact, okay, here's a good story.
He was on just the other night as a guest. He was fabulous.
Oh, Eddie's great. Eddie and I played with a guy that was a drug runner.
He didn't
we didn't know it
story that night.
we didn't know it at the time, but this, and I won't mention his name, but Eddie
might not want to.
Well, no, God bless him. He was a good guy. He was just in the wrong business, but he was a good guitar player and a singer. So Eddie and I did some tracks for him. So yeah, I've known Eddie. Good Lord, he's like probably one of the first people I met when I came to LA.
Yeah.
His Trap Foundation is incredible, isn't
it? Yeah. It really, really is fantastic. It's very inspiring for the kids, huh?
Well, yeah, and very inspiring to watch Eddie as a human being take a negative and turn it into a positive experience.
Right, exactly. Paying it forward, you know, very successful, and then saying,
absolutely,
hey, you know what, and designing it based on his own personal experience too.
Exactly.
Which I think is an absolutely rare and beautiful thing. Absolutely. Got some cool pictures here. Take a look at this.
Oh, so the guy, let's see, if you're looking at it like I'm looking at it, the guy on the far left is John Chalou. And he produced a record called Bring the Family with Ry Cooder, Nick Lowe, John Hyatt, and Jim Keltner. The guy next to him is Jack Miele, and he's a famous producer, songwriter, and guitar player from New Orleans. In the middle, that's Irma Thomas. And the gentleman next to her, another one of my mentors, is Arthur Adams, who's a wonderful guitar player and a beautiful singer. Probably one of the few guys I know that can make me cry when he sings. And then myself on the far right. And that was taken right after Hurricane Katrina.
Right after Katrina.
John had seen us play, and so he wanted to do a record on Arthur. So he had managed to scare up some funding, and one of the prerequisites that the funder said was, you've got to do it in New Orleans so that you can contribute to the economy while they build up from, you know, while they come back from their natural disaster. It was an amazing experience.
That's really cool to be a part of things like that. That's really something very, very special. Got another shot here. There you are back there. Yeah. Is that Jackson Browne?
That's Jackson Browne and the photographer Danny Clinch.
Wow. What was happening this night?
Okay. That was through my friend David Borla and Ryan Williamson. Now, Ryan Williams is a engineer and a guitar player. He's done all kinds of records. David Borla is the CEO of Borla Exhaust Systems.
Yeah.
So, but he's also a wonderful drummer. So anyway, they go, hey, we've got this gig. We're going to back up Danny Clinch. And it was at the Sunset Marquee. And it was for a picture exposition or something. Something to that effect. So not only was Jackson Browne there, but the singer-songwriter, I forget her name. That's the horrible thing about brain farts. You can't remember, and then 5 minutes later it comes to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jackson was playing with us, and Danny is a wonderful harp player.
Mm.
So that was pretty amazing. Some other people played with us too, and like I said, I can't remember right this second, but there was something like 1,200 people there.
Were there really?
Yeah, around the pool area.
Yes.
Around the pool area.
Have you gotten a chance to travel? You know, obviously when we could travel, but over the years with the group and with others, have you had a chance to do a lot of traveling, not only across the United States, but did you go overseas and other places as well?
Okay, so back in 1999, I was living with my friend Arlen Shirebaum, who's a wonderful keyboard player and a very creative person. So we're hanging out one day, and he comes to me and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "Lou," he goes, "I'm in this band called Mandrill. They're from Brooklyn." He goes, "They need a bass player." He goes, "Would you like to go audition for them?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I had their records when I was a kid. I had like the first 2 or 3 records. So I went and auditioned for Mandrill, and I got the gig, which kind of blew me away. But my first trip, actually, that was they went to Europe all the time. So through them, I got to go to England. I got to go to Germany. I got to play the Montreux Jazz Festival, which for a lot of musicians is like, that's the creme de la creme of music festivals. So I played the Montreux Jazz Festival in 2002.
Wow.
And the night after, a couple nights after, David Bowie played.
Mm.
We were sandwiched in between UB40 and Ike Turner.
What a sandwich that is, huh?
Well, a week later, I saw Ike Turner in LA at a place called Nate's Early Bite. And there was a homeless guy at the door panhandling for money. So Ike goes up to him and gives him $20. And he goes, "Here, guy." He goes, "Buy yourself something to eat." And the homeless guy doesn't know, "Hey, dude, you just got $20 from Ike Turner." So now, obviously, we've heard all the stories about Ike Turner, but I feel honored to have seen the good part. And he did a great set at Montreux. He was happening. He was jumping from guitar to keyboards, and he was doing it. David Bowie, though.
Yeah.
David Bowie was. I've never that had to be the best show I've ever seen, because basically he played 3 hours and 45 minutes, took a 30-minute break, and then came back and did the whole Low record.
Just came back out and nailed it again, huh?
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. We had some friends that were playing with him, and that's why we went to the show that night. So yeah, he was fantastic.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I think Bowie was definitely special. He was wonderful, 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 wonderful. So with Mandrill, I got to go overseas a lot.
Yeah.
Played these really wonderful gigs. We did a lot of shows in the States. Played Wall Street at noon one time while everybody's coming out. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
They're all in the suits and everything.
Yeah, they're all in their suits and we're playing. And another time we played, I don't remember the club, but I remember Madonna and Questlove and all these people were there checking us out. Questlove, he's tall.
Isn't he? Yes.
No wonder he sounds so killing behind those drums.
Yes.
He's just
the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. He's well. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's part
What
of
a great band.
Right, Roots, the Roots. Yeah.
Yeah, what a great band.
I think he's originally from Philadelphia, I think.
Well, I don't care where he's from. He's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I think he's from Philly. Yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Roots record with John Legend's pretty happening. I love that record.
Mm, mm. Wow. So, singer, songwriter, bassist, as well as producer. For you, what comes first for you? Is it the bass before the singing, songwriting, and producing? What really speaks to you first?
I think being a bass player, but all of it, you're a bass player, one thing, and then you want to be able to have some kind of control over your destiny, right?
Yeah.
Some semblance of control. So you learn how to write, and I had always written poetry.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
and I was an avid reader,
Right.
and my high school teacher, Catherine Garlow, who was hot. So I show her these poems, and I go, "What do you think of this?" I go, "What do you think of this?" And she goes, "These are really good, Lou." She goes, "I think you're going to make a career out of this." So she was a big inspiration, but I was always writing poetry. It was just a natural extension. You play bass, and then you go, "Hey, Paul McCartney." You see
Yeah.
Paul McCartney; he's such a great songwriter. You go, "I got to do that." It's not. Early on, you figure out you can't just be a bass player. You've got to have as many skill sets
Versatility.
as
Right.
possible, right? Because you never know what's going to happen in this business. It can be very fickle. So I learned how to write songs, and then you sing. Say you don't have any gigs, but hey, somebody calls you and go, "Could you sing this commercial?" "Oh, sure, I could do that." Or
So you did commercials too?
I've done commercials, yes.
Do you remember some of the cool commercials we might remember? That'd be cool. You did the
I
jingles. Yeah.
I did a Safeway Foods.
Did you? I
I
miss
sang in a.
jingles. We remember when everything was, we were talking
I
about the
did
other night, everybody would sing, all the commercials had jingles, every radio
right.
station, every TV, everything had jingles tied to it. Now we don't see that or hear that so much. I wish they would bring jingles back.
It kind of. I had a couple of friends. Sherwood Ball was one that used to sing lots and lots and lots of jingles. David Morgan is another one that sang a lot of commercials. Mark Campbell from Jack Mack and the Heart Attack is another one that did a lot of commercials. We called them the beer voices.
Yes. We were talking the other night about Ron Hicklin too.
The Ron Hicklin singers.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. So doing that, and then in your travels, you come across a lot of singer-songwriters.
Yes.
And they don't know their way around the studio, and so a lot of times I would get asked to produce this artist or that artist.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that. But I sang for this movie. You asked, I sang a song in this movie called "Sleep Easy, Hutch Rhymes," which is I forget who. I see it being played all the time. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
But the guy that called me for that is the guy that did the music for Anchorman, and he did March of the Penguins. Great keyboard player.
That is so cool, huh? What great experiences, huh?
A lot of them. Just being part of the musical community is just it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, when you really think about it, absolutely. As far as the singing and songwriting, you were mentioning some possible commercials you might recall that you were part of.
Apple
too, huh?
I did an Apple commercial. I did some, for Apco Foods. We had some stuff in.
Those are good gigs, right?
On the history, yeah. We had some things on the History Channel.
Wow.
Things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're a songwriter, they'll take your song and put it in this or that. So
yes.
These days songs, you can use them multiple different ways.
Well, now you're hearing in a lot of commercials, they're using retro songs. Retro music is back, and they're using that as sort of the underscoring for the commercial. Notice that.
You
A lot
mean
of
like
songs, a lot of songs
Bob Dylan for Victoria's Secret?
right. Yeah, you're like, wait a minute. And what's interesting is somebody, will hear that for the first time and say, oh, wow, that's a cool song they're using for that commercial. And they're like, that song actually came out in 1977 or something.
Well, I remember that one insurance commercial, and the thing goes, woo, woo, and I forget who that was. I think it's Blur or somebody, but
Yeah.
you heard that. I think,
You hear that
while
with
we're talking
disco
about
beats too. Sometimes
right,
there's
right.
a disco beat now you hear, and they fall in love with it, and you're like, well, that was actually this group that came out 30 years ago.
What we both failed to mention was video games.
Yes.
Okay, video games. Being that we're not. I speaking for myself. I wasn't into video games per se. I was into. I was working. I was playing.
Yeah. You're
I was
doing it.
gigging.
Yeah.
A lot of guys can like reel off TV themes and stuff. I
Yes.
can't do it. I can't really do it because I wasn't watching TV.
Right.
But I've had some students, and I would sit there and go, "Well, let's learn this song." Oh, that's in Guitar Hero. So they made me realize how much video games have helped the spread of music.
I have a friend that listens on the computer to the video game music and absolutely loves it. Mario and Super Mario and all these
Super Mario
and all the instrumental and just
right.
these songs that are like, wow, I never even thought of that. I wasn't as big with video games either. It was probably in school or whatever by then, but Atari, Pong, some of that, but then, the other later stuff, not so much, because I was either doing, I was doing my thing and immersed in it. So I didn't have time. But,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But that points up the difference in say, the way we came up and and the generations after us. It's pretty wild. It's an education.
It's all part of the levity, all part of the mix, right?
It is. It's great. It's great. I love it.
What are some things you're working on now?
Well, we're going to release another We Three tune that we have in the can. It was on an EP, but I think it's cool I want to release it again because I think we'll get more attention this time. Obviously, the Scott Ellison record that I co-produced is still burning up the charts, and
not incredible.
So yeah, it is, and we're going to start doing gigs pretty soon. We already did a live concert video that we're probably going to release in May. We're writing more Gringell Snarf tunes as we speak. In fact, we've probably got 3 or 4 that we could release right now. But what we like to do is we like to have videos that go along with them.
That go along with it, yeah.
Right. We try to have the visual that go along with them.
Marty Thompson's back, and he says, thank you, Marty, again. He did the super chat. He's one of the best with this that helps support our show when we're live here. Welcome to My Nightmare by Alice Cooper with Ry Cooder, All Shook Up, and Scarecrow by John Cougar, live at the Sands with Sinatra and Neil Diamond's Hot August Night are some of my favorite albums. What's yours?
Okay, so live at the Sands with Sinatra. Who let all these people in my room? That's the first thing he says.
That's it. Thanks, Marty. Appreciate that very much.
Neil Diamond live at the Greek. I went to that. It's Hot August Night. That was at the Greek. I saw that. My girlfriend at the time took me. Laura Larson, God bless you, my dear. Took me, and we saw that. She had like season passes to go to the Greek. So we went and saw Hot August Nights, and I got to tell you, Neil was killing it, killing it. The bass player, I think it was Rene Press, was the bass player. He was burning, and I think Ron Tutt was playing drums. Yeah, they were really good. Alice Cooper, I've met Alice Cooper a number of times. He's a very cool guy, and I had a lot of friends that played with him too. So I've heard a lot of stories when he about his good periods and bad periods, and it had nothing to do with who he was as a person. It's just he went through a lot of stuff like we all have in our lives,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you find yourself on the other side. But I didn't know that Ry Cooder played on an Alice Cooper record.
Mm.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What are the genres that you like? Do you like a little of everything?
Well, okay, to answer that, I like good songs. Okay. But then again, I like Sigur Rós, you know, and I wouldn't call those songs in the traditional sense of the word, but they're kind of new agey. But I like Sigur Rós. I like Mark Isham a lot. He's a great soundtrack composer. When we talk about songwriters or genres, when we talk about genres, I guess it has to do with the songs and the vibe. Like, for instance, a lot of my favorite songwriters would be like Paul Simon, Goffin and King, Don Henley, Paul Simon, John Hyatt, the guys in Squeeze. I think it's Difford and Tilbrook are their names. Who else? Who wrote Unbreak My Heart?
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's incredible. I've met her a couple times too. She's wonderful.
What about people like Paul Williams and some of them?
Oh, Williams is great.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Very sweet person.
Marin and Alan Bergman, the Bergmans.
Oh, sure. Didn't they write Windmills of Your Mind?
Yeah. They also wrote the theme to Maud. And then there's Maud. Dun, 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 would be our
Yeah, but I think of Windmills of Your Mind because
Another
of
great one.
Well, because of the Dusty Springfield version.
Yes.
Oh, that'll make you cry.
That'll get you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So songwriters, there's so many of them. There's so many great songwriters. But I like all styles of music too. Bob Marley. I've got to mention Bob Marley. Think of those records were done what? 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
It's got to be
and
at least 40
those
now.
songs still resonate with people because they're really good songs, and that's the beauty of songwriting.
What's your go-to music if the days are rough and crazy and chaotic? What do you go to first? What's the music that brings the zen for you, that reconnects you?
Lately?
Yeah, I know. Lately, yeah.
Well, I'll say lately.
Besides everything from your childhood, lately.
Well, lately the Jacob Collier records, Volume 1.
Tony Braxton was on Break My Heart. Tony Braxton.
Right, Tony Braxton did on Break My Heart, but the songwriter is Diane's. I forget her name. I met her. I should know. Diane Warren.
Oh, Diane Warren, another.
Yeah.
Epic. Yeah.
She's way epic.
Yes.
She's way epic.
Yes.
So Jacob Collier, I like Mike Isham a lot. There's a couple Mark Isham records that I listen to a lot. Vince Mendoza is another one that I listen to his music a lot. I think it's beautiful. The way he's basically known as an orchestrator.
Yes.
So when they did the remakes of those Joni Mitchell records, where they remade her old songs with strings and stuff, he was the orchestrator. So he's really good. Who else? Peter Gabriel, Hanley, Paul Simon,
David Foster.
Well, actually, one of my most favorite things that David Foster ever did has never been released. And it's a song by Bruce Hornsby called The River Runs Low, I think it is. And so um, I was auditioning for the Bruce Hornsby band one time, and they sent me that song. And I thought it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Um, but it was never released. David Foster is definitely a heck of an arranger and a producer. He's definitely done some good stuff. Didn't he do theme from Titanic?
Wasn't that wasn't Hans Zimmer, was it? No.
Well, oh, I can't remember who did theme from Titanic. What's my favorite David Foster track? David Foster did the Tubes. So the stuff that he did with the Tubes, I liked.
Mm-hmm.
David Foster wrote After the Love Is Gone.
After the Love Is Gone.
I think David Foster is a really amazing songwriter. And his use of the false modulations. He's
right.
Right. So Foster's definitely, and he wrote that song Skylark too, or Better Cry for She's a Lady, right? He wrote that. So that's a beautiful song. What else has he done? The Chicago stuff that he did, that was good. That was good. Mm-hmm. There were some good things in there. There's a Bill Champlin record that he produced that I thought was really good.
The Titanic, James Horner.
Okay.
Yeah, James Horner. Cool
Lyrics
stuff.
by Will Jennings, though.
Yes. Celine Dion.
Right.
Jen Barry in Pennsylvania says, Gordon Lightfoot.
Love Gordon Lightfoot. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Gordon, he's still doing it.
Sherry Larson says Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac.
Stevie Nicks is like, she's like the godmother to some friends of mine.
Really?
Well, through the years, I've mentored some people on how to play the instrument. So one of the people I mentored was a young lady who was brilliant when I met her, named Esti Heim. And she's in a band called Heim. So I mentored her on bass, and the guitar player in We Three, Bill Wiseman, mentored Danielle and Alana on guitar. And another person I mentored was a gentleman by the name of Justin Casey, and he plays with a band called Dirty Honey. They're out on the road right now, co-headlining with Wolfgang Van Halen's band Mammoth.
Mm.
So, but Esti Heim got bass face from me.
Oh.
I would be sitting there playing. She'd go, "You make these faces when you're playing," and I go, "Yeah."
That's it. You're into it.
Oh, totally.
What are some things you haven't done yet that you would still love to do? I mean, you've had this epic career, you've played with so many people, you're enjoying the ride, and you're making music and celebrating it all, celebrating life along the way. What are some other things that are out there that you'd still either like to do again, do more of, or do for the first time, Lou?
I want to do more traveling. I want to experience as much in the way of cultures that I can, because that makes you a better musician and an artist. I'm always reading a lot. If I was going to do anything, what I probably should do is go do nothing for a minute. Go out to the desert somewhere and sit in a hot tub and read a good book. But yeah. I've been in movies.
Yeah,
and
tell us about that.
Yeah. Just I was in a movie called California Girls, and I was in a band with a lady named Maggie Mayall, which she's the She's the ex-wife of John Mayall.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done like sideline work. I've been in movies. I sang in movies. I don't really have any big designs. I just want to keep playing. I want to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm having a blast doing it.
You're having a blast doing it. Yeah.
It's still fun to me. It's still, there's still more about it that I'm exploring and learning about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not cynical about it. I'm not jaded. It's always a blast, and it doesn't matter what kind of gig it is or anything. Just the privilege of being able to play and entertain people is really a big thing for me.
It's incredible. You know who's here tonight that wanted to pop in and say hello? Mr. George Burns is with us.
I love George Burns. He's awesome.
I tell you, cigar, his hanky. He said, "You've knocked it out of the park, sir."
Oh, that's great.
You never ran into him in Hollywood. You never ran into him in Hollywood, huh?
Did I ever run into George Burns? No.
Yeah.
No. I walk around Lake Hollywood all the time, though.
Oh yeah.
And there's a guy there. I believe his name is Al Ung.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there talking. I go, so what do you do? And he goes, I'm a screenwriter. I go, really? I go, did you do anything that I would know? He goes, Blazing Saddles. And I looked and I go, what's a dazzling urban night like you doing in a rustic setting like this? And he started laughing. He's super cool. Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Film scores, writing, movie scores, something that you'd like to really expand on?
I've done a couple of movie scores. I've done a couple of movie scores for low budget flicks.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
It was fun. It was fun. I like doing that. Another band I was in called the Beggarwoods with a guitar player named Andy Georges. He's doing a lot of movie music and stuff. And he's a great guitar player, and plus he plays bouzouki.
Oh, bouzouki, yeah, that great.
Oh, he's killing. He's killing. Yeah. He's killing. He's killing. And he makes the best egg drop stew.
Oh my God. Eddie says Lou is a sweetheart, one of a kind. A great show, you guys. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah.
Much love and respect from Casa Gaviota.
Absolutely. Marty
wants to do a gig in Australia.
Thanks again for the super chat, Marty. You're the best. We love that. That really helps our show. And that's
absolutely.
Let's do a gig in Australia together.
I'm down.
And he's in Nashville too.
I'm down. Let's go. Nashville. It's funny you mentioned Nashville. I have a lot of friends in Nashville. They for one reason or another, they got tired of LA. Yeah. Peter Gunn theme is Henry Mancini.
You like Mancini too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jacob Collier does a great version of Moon River.
We talked about Henry Mancini and just really the best, really fantastic. All of those orchestra leaders of the time too, who did all that music, incredibly epically talented as well. And then they would we were talking about bringing in the session musicians who would interpret those songs that those orchestra leaders would create and arrange and cover and what have you. Did you do a lot of session work for any of those groups and orchestras? And
I've done sessions where we would sit there and just play stuff. We just jam, and then they'd use it in the movie. Like for instance, The Breakup. With Jennifer Aniston and who's the other guy? Forget his name. Anyway, I did some music for that. I'm playing on the soundtrack. I've definitely done stuff like that. I can't remember any of it, but I've done it. It's in there somewhere in the memory banks. Definitely done sessions. My session thing has more to do with records and individual artists.
Jennifer
rather than.
Aniston and Vince Vaughn.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on that soundtrack.
Wow.
And like I said, I sang on Sleepy G Hutch Rhymes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When you think about it, do you ever walk in a store or flip the TV on, or you're over somebody's house and all of a sudden any of the things that you've been involved in pop on and like, wow,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's got to be a very cool
Yes.
feeling.
Yes, it's cool. I co-produced a lot of stuff with Arthur Adams. So one of his records, Stomp the Floor, they played it on K-Jazz all the time. And the We Three song, She Knows She's Got It, got played a lot. So I would have people calling me up going, hey, we just heard your song in Vegas, or we heard it in Nashville, or we heard it here, we heard it in Europe. So yeah, it's always a trip to hear yourself on the radio. You know, a guy like Dave Grohl is probably really bored with it by now.
That's true.
or a guy like Lee Sklar. Think of how many things Lee Sklar has played on.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Russ Kunkel or Danny Kirschmar or Waddy Wachtel. You know, yeah, I love the Allman Brothers Band. Are you kidding? I saw him at the Whiskey.
You did, huh?
Yeah. Barry Oakley fell off the stage. He was so drunk.
Yeah.
So
it's all part of it.
well, before they even went on, I saw them take 3 bus trays full of beer.
I bet there's a lot of stories. Have you thought of writing a book at all?
So that's been presented to me a million times. Why don't you write a book?
With all the stories.
And I think, well, I don't know if I'm there yet. I got some more stuff to learn and to do and to experience before I do that. One friend of mine mentioned to me that I should start dictating to my phone and just talking about that stuff.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I would agree. It's always good to get it down, you know, just at least start recording some of it and have it, and you can always go back to it. And, you know, because as the stories keep happening, sometimes it's, I mean, do you ever journal anything? Do you ever jot things down as they're happening? Because so many things happen.
No, what I do is we have like our morning pages where we get up and you write for 45 minutes, just stream of consciousness. And that's just a technique I use for songwriting. Yeah, I haven't really got into the documentation mode.
But it's still an option, right? Still out there. And at some point you might do it.
There's a lot of road left.
See, that's the key. That's absolutely.
There's a lot of road left. I think I'm too busy out there hiking around the lake, doing my best to stay in shape and keeping the svelte figure.
Well, of course, that's right. You know, TV adds 10 pounds, they say. There is truth to that.
There's total truth to that. There's total truth to that. You look like you're in pretty good shape, though.
I do. Well, we're here by the ocean on the East Coast, so can't quite swim right now, but I'm always in it. I'm swimming, surfing, boogie boarding. We sail it, we float in it, we're walking the ocean, and I love pretty good with tennis and cycling. I'm a cyclist as well, so I'm always.
What kind of bike you got?
It's. It was a gift that I got from a friend who injured his leg and he fell forward. We were at a park and there was sort of like a decline, and I don't even know what it really is because he just handed it to me and I've just used that. I mean, I've had an older one, you know, it's kind of like a mountain bike, because we have we're by the ocean here, but further north it's a little bit more hilly, you know, further up, and sometimes we take the mountain bikes. But he just gave me that one after he had no more use for it, and because he went, it was something like it was like a rock that you couldn't see it because it was sticking out.
Right, right, right.
Head over.
Yeah.
Do you cycle at all? Do you do?
I do. I
I've
have a
always
bike.
loved it.
Yeah, it's
Ever
wonderful.
since I had the banana seat bikes, I loved it.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you just got to make sure you have a helmet.
Well, here here you don't need a helmet for the motorcycle, but you do for the bike, the cycle.
Well, I was mentioning to my wife today that at one point in the 60s that that Arlen Specter wanted to make it so that you had to have a seatbelt on your motorcycle.
Yes, I think I remember hearing that in the news.
And I'm thinking, that doesn't really make sense, because if that bike's going down, you want to be away from it. But yeah, bicycles are the best. There's lots of places to ride around here, obviously, in Hollywood. And, you know,
You
if you want to
swim?
stay,
Do you go to the ocean?
mostly, I used to go to the ocean all the time, but mostly it's hiking.
Yes.
I'll go in the hills.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots of places to hike here. I'm basically 8 or 9 miles from the Hollywood Reservoir.
Oh yeah.
So there's a trail up there called the Freedom Trail.
Yeah.
So if you go to the top of the Freedom Trail, you can walk that whole ridge line, and it'll take you all the way to the Griffith Park Observatory. That's one thing you can do. Yeah, there's all kinds of places to hike. That's the beauty. You know, when I go out to the desert, I love going out there. My brother has a place in the desert, and there's hot springs about 2 miles away, and it's a great hike. So yeah, that's my thing.
Any winter stuff? Any winter sports stuff? Do you go up north at all to any of the snow or anything?
I'll look at it. I'll look at pictures of it.
We'll send you some from back east.
I can remember one of the coldest days of my life. I was playing with Wayne Newton, of all people, and it was a Christmas tour, and we played in Niagara Falls on the Canadian side.
I was going to say on the Canadian side, yes.
It was 17 below in the daytime. So
I'm having there.
And the sun was shining. I had to step very lightly because I didn't want to fall on my duff. Okay. And I probably had 3 or 4 layers of clothing. And I think that's the coldest weather I've ever been. 17 below, that's something.
That's a tough one, yeah.
Yeah.
Put that in the book. You survived 17 below.
Well, Mary's from Michigan. And when I first met her, I go, "Why'd you leave Michigan?" She goes, 35 below. I go, okay, I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Then you go to northern Minnesota, International Falls, like the coldest place in the country. I tell you.
Well, I thought it was Duluth.
Duluth.
Right? It gets what? It's 40 and 50 below, right?
I don't know. I heard it was International Falls, Minnesota, the coldest spot in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
How cold was it?
Well, if you're talking 40, 50 for Duluth, it's gonna be 70, I would say.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But when they have those polar vortexes that come out of Canada, whew,
yeah.
Jane she's in Sweden. She watches.
Yeah, Jane Elfgren. I would love to play in Sweden. The Swedish musicians are fantastic. Do I like to draw or paint? I've done a little of both. My brother is actually the one who's a great visual artist. I mean, he's exceptional. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it much anymore, but he's somebody that I admired as a visual artist. And there's some guys here in LA whose work I really admire.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, obviously creativity runs in the family then, huh?
Right.
Linda says, what about Alaska?
Alaska. Okay, so my co-writer lived in Alaska for a long time, and he worked at the radio station in Nome, Alaska, and he was a reporter. And another friend of mine is from Juneau. So I've never been to Alaska. I would love to go. And I'll go to that spot where we're 55 miles from Russia, and I'll take a look and go, oh, okay. Right? I can see your house from here.
You're not going to swim across to say hi, are you?
No, no, no. Alaska is a fascinating place to me.
Yeah.
Okay, especially when you go back in time, because the Aleutians at one point were, if I'm not mistaken, were a land bridge between Asia and North America. So I find that kind of fascinating.
It really is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Where's some places that you haven't been that you'd love to go? Have you been to Australia?
I've never been to Australia. Would love to go. I'd love to go to New Zealand. I have friends in New Zealand. I would love to go to Scandinavia. I think Scandinavia definitely is a place I want to. Oh yeah, I've been to Ireland. Definitely played the Belfast Blues Festival and played some clubs in Belfast. And I have some friends in Belfast and in Dublin.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Jimmy Smith. Hello, Davey Watson, and Vivian Campbell's from Belfast.
She's from Belfast as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. So cool Ireland's beautiful.
Yeah, Ireland is very beautiful. Yes. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Very green.
Have you been to Germany or Greece?
Been to Germany. I've been to Germany. My ex-roommate that got me in Mandrill lives in Pelion, Greece, on a mountaintop overlooking. I guess it's the Aegean Sea.
The Aegeans, yeah. Aegean Sea. What about South America, Brazil or Argentina? Or
no, the farthest south I've been is Mexico.
Yeah. What part?
I went to Guadalajara.
You did,
and of course I've gone to Ensenada. We did. Arthur did the blues cruise a few times, going to Ensenada.
How about Canada?
No, I would love to go to Canada. Got a lot of friends in Canada as well. Canada is fascinating to me. I would love to go to Canada. And
Japan?
Definitely been to Japan.
Yeah.
Japan is special.
Yeah, everybody says, I haven't been there yet, but everybody says they really like it. Just the culture and the way they are respectful and just a certain feeling that's
very organized. The first time I went to Japan, I went with Carla Olson and the Textones, and my friend Todd Wolfe, who used to play with Sheryl Crow, was a guitar player in the band. So Japan was amazing. We played in Roppongi.
Oh wow! Yeah.
At this blues club for a week. And so it's my first time overseas. And number one, you've got 10 or 15 million people in this very small area. Everybody's super cool. It's very clean. Everybody's very polite. You'd think that they would be, that they would harbor some ill will because of the United States. But I found everybody to be really, really sweet and cool and everything you can imagine. It was really cool. Great food, great audiences. Much different than American audiences. They're very reserved. Yes. They don't really show how they're feeling until the end of the show.
Then they really
Then so played Roppongi, which is basically Tokyo. Played Osaka and played Nagoya. So we got to take the bullet train, which was amazing. Okay, you're doing.
Oh, I was on that. It's unbelievable.
You're doing 180 miles and you don't know it.
No.
It's amazing, and all these beautiful landscapes are,
That you're just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Have you
I
been
would
to
love to
Italy?
play. No,
Yeah.
no. My grandfather used to yell at my father for not teaching us how to speak Italian.
I was going to say with like a name like Lou Castro, you haven't been to Italy yet?
So, so, so just it's actually Castro Giovanni is the
So it's
real
been
name.
shortened. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And Castro Giovanni, I
Which
believe it means House of John,
House of John
and it is a town in Sicily,
in Sicily, yes.
right?
They
But
used to shorten the names back when they came over. The names would be shortened.
exactly. And my grandfather shortened it to Castro, not knowing that 60 years later Fidel Castro would come into power, and you know. So yeah, I've gotten that more than once.
They
But
ask
it's
if you're from Cuba.
you know what? All the great music that Cuba has blessed us with, I would love to go to Cuba.
Yes.
And and uh and
Veronica Lee says, be sure to visit north of Brisbane, Australia when you get here. She's
I'll
in
be
the,
happy. I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to. Um, I have a band called Friday Morning, which is our band where we go out and do cover gigs and stuff and play around. So the
okay.
drummer Chris Grant is from Perth.
It's from Perth. Yeah.
He's from Perth.
On the western side.
I have another friend who's a fantastic guitar player named John Husenstam, who grew up in Whittier with me, and he lived in Perth for like 10 years and married an Australian woman. He moved there because of the surf, because Perth is reputedly one of the best surfing spots in the world.
Oh, the Perth surf is incredible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, do you surf?
I have, yes. I've not been to Perth doing it, but East Coast. Yeah, mainly East Coast. I love watching the shows on television with the surfers and these 100-foot waves off Maui and these other places. They
I'm
are,
looking at that stuff and I'm like, oh my God,
you you just
you've
did
got
a
to
Fred
have.
Sanford. That was a little Fred Sanford there from
Well,
Red
that's great.
Fox.
I love Red Fox. Wow,
Uh,
what a great
yeah.
entertainer and comedian and a pioneer.
But those surfing videos, when the shows, the stations carry them, I love sitting there watching it. I'm just in awe. Those are really special people who get up there on the board and tackle 80-foot, 50-foot, 30-foot, 100-foot waves like it's nothing. That
Well,
takes a certain.
who was the woman that surfed a wave and she wiped out and she couldn't surf for 3 years and then she goes back out and she surfs the tallest wave ever. It was like 100 feet.
She just right. You get back
Right.
up on and do it right. Just get back
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is really awe-inspiring, and you realize the power of Mother Nature. Yes, I've heard of the Climax Blues Band. What was their song? Couldn't Get It Right, I think was the song. Good band, good band. That was their big hit, in fact.
That was the big hit, right? Exactly. This was
Yeah.
awesome, my friend. This was a great conversation. Really getting a chance to connect with you and with our audience watching around the world and everybody that's discovering the music for the first time, and you and well, we're going to keep that porch light on for you, Lou. You're welcome back anytime, and maybe when you're back, we'll set it up. We'll have you play a couple of things or something, which would be really cool. But this was awesome. I hope you enjoyed the time as much as I certainly have, and the show met whatever expectations you had, my friend.
Oh no, this is beyond my expectations, and I want to thank you for being a great host, and I want to thank your audience who are really awesome and asking some great questions. And I love the interaction between all the parties concerned. It's really cool, and I'm honored to be here, and I would love to do it again.
Absolutely. That's our Lovity Squad, all the folks commenting from around the world, the JMS Lovity Squad. We love them too. You're fantastic. Do you have dinner yet, Lou? Or are you going to have it now?
Mary, are we going to have dinner yet? She's got her earplugs in.
I was going to say, is there a voice from the?
No, well, what happens? So what happens? I'll have a bass in all the different rooms, but we'll be sitting here watching TV, and
Yeah.
I'll practice so that we don't kill each other. She puts
She puts
she puts earplugs in.
Mona Greer is watching in New Orleans. You mentioned New Orleans, and she's
Love. Oh
fantastic.
man.
Oh, she
Great.
sent me these spices. She sent me these coffees and these spices from Louisiana. We have cousins in Louisiana. Actually, my cousins on my mother's side, my cousin married a gentleman from New Orleans, and his family's from New Orleans. And Mona sent up north some fabulous spices and coffees, real Cajun rubs and everything.
Right.
She's awesome. She says, thank you for sharing your story and nice meeting you. What a great way to spend our Saturday night. Thank you very much, Mona. Jen Barry in Pennsylvania. Lou, thank you for spending time with us. Come back soon. Linda in Florida, St. Augustine. Thank you, Lou. Juanita watching in South Africa. Great conversation. Hey, thank you, Lou,
awesome.
for spending time with us. Great show. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Juanita. And Toby says, Mary, what's for dinner?
Right. Probably, who knows? New Orleans has the best food. New Orleans has the best food.
Yes.
They have great food. I mean, unhealthy, but man, it sure tastes good.
It tastes good.
I love it. I love their cuisine. Not to mention, where would we be without the great music from New Orleans? Okay.
You know who's awesome is John Batiste on.
Oh, John Batiste is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And he's also, in addition to being a gifted, talented, musician.
It runs in the family.
He's also a terrific personality. You know what I mean? His personality is fantastic as well to match all of the talent that he's got. He's on, for those watching, he's on CBS on Stephen Colbert's show. He's the band leader on Stephen's show, CBS, The Late Show on CBS. He's just absolutely fantastic.
A beautiful spirit. And I like his song that he released, and I don't know the name of it.
That recent one, yes. Was that great?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. No, just a beautiful spirit. He comes from a very musical family. I believe was it Alvin Batiste, the clarinet player, is part of his family. The Neville brothers, of course. I've gotten to work with Ivan. And
have you really?
Yeah, he's great. He's great. And Mean Willie Green.
Yeah.
Mean Willie Green. He plays with the Wild Tupulos.
Yes.
And he plays with the Nevilles as well. And he played with Elvis Costello too.
That's right.
That's another one. You talked about songwriters. Elvis Costello is another one that's an amazing songwriter, and I love listening to his records. And it's been wonderful watching his evolution as a musician.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff. I'd say all these names, all these people, all this music. You just keep going, my friend. And hopefully, and I say it during the end of the show, hopefully we'll break bread if you're ever on the East Coast in the New York to Boston area, or I'm out on a shoot or visiting family on the West Coast. Love to get together and break bread. That'd be kind of cool. You're in LA proper, right? You're right there. Yeah.
Speaking of another artist, a visual artist, Willie Cole. Check out his art. He's incredible.
Yeah.
Really a good guy.
And he's in that area there, Los Angeles.
He lives in LA, but he's doing showings all over the United States.
That's fantastic. We'll keep an eye out for that. The website for the group for We3, is it we3.com?
OUI3.com.
Yeah, OUI3.
And we're on Facebook.
The French.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm on Facebook as Lou Bassist, Lou Castro, but on Twitter as Lou Bassist, on Instagram, LinkedIn, all sorts of things.
Key places.
That's what we have to do these days. It's not about just being a musician. It's about being a multimedia artist.
That's what it is now. Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
And I want to thank you for the way you promoted this show and everything. You really got it down.
I appreciate that.
I
Appreciate
know.
that.
No, you really have it down, and it was great to see how you do what you do.
I appreciate that very much. Now, my father has always said, and I've mentioned it on this show and elsewhere, whenever anybody says something nice or kind, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
Your dad sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah. Irishman from New York City.
Well, yeah.
Veronica Lee said, yeah, he grew up around the block from Tony Bennett in Astoria.
Tony Benedetto.
Yes, that's right. That's right. He knew Tony.
Yeah, another.
Legendary. Yes.
Legendary. That was a, you talk about Tony Bennett. That was a record that I listened to constantly when I was like 10 years old. Was I Left My Heart in San Francisco. That whole record. Whole record was really special to me.
Mm-hmm.
His version of Smile, the Charlie Chaplin tune,
is another
exceptional.
Incredible. Yeah. So many people, I tell you. A couple of more comments coming in here. Mona from New Orleans says, thanks, Jim. Was a great show with Lou Castro. Very entertaining. Thank you both for your time. Thank you, Mona. Veronica Lee in Australia, north of Brisbane. Thank you, Jim Masters and Lou Castro. Fascinating show. Love your work. Thank you very much.
Both.
We love you.
Yes.
And there's the spelling, we three right there, gang, for all of you.
And Friday Morning is the other band that I have.
Is the other one as well.
Right. That's with Chris Grant, who's from Perth, and Alicia McCracken Morgan, whose husband sings with Three Dog Night, and guitar god John Woodhead, who used to play with Ace. Remember Ace?
Yes, this is
how
amazing.
long has this been going? Yeah. So
yeah, and you even I mentioned my dear friend, our family friend Ronnie Spector, who had passed just a matter of weeks ago, and you have a friend who played bass for one of her songs, right?
Yes. So Ronnie Spector. I used to sub for my friend Will McGregor in a band called the Monte Carlos. So one time they're doing a show at the Orange County Fairground, and Ronnie was singing Walking in the Rain. And wouldn't you know it, right at that very moment, it starts to mist. Okay? There was a light rain falling, and it's kind of like one of those surreal moments that only a higher power could have made happen. Yes. And it was pretty special.
That was a special time, special moment, huh?
Yeah, Ronnie Spector, wonderful singer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff.
Stuff. Jane in Sweden, great show tonight. Thanks, Jim and Lou. Thank you very much as well. And of course, Toby. Thanks, Jim, having you on. Absolutely, Toby. We love it. And you as well. Lou, this was awesome. Really. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show live to all your friends and tell them to check us out. And
I subscribed. You
subscribed. Now click that notification bell so you never miss our alerts.
Right. I subscribed. I subscribed as opposed to being conscripted.
Conscripted. I like that. You got a good sense of humor too. Where did that
I'm a big fan of comedians. I'm a big fan of comedians.
You are. Who are some of your favorite? Did you like Dangerfield? I miss Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, love Dangerfield. Even met him a few times.
You did?
Oh yeah. We were playing Cantors one night, and he came in with two very young ladies, and he looked like he'd been smoking a lot of pot, and he was just having a good time. But some of my favorite comedians are like Godfrey Cambridge, Dick Gregory, George Carlin, Lenny Bruce, of course. Robin Williams. I like Dave Chappelle.
Sebastian Maniscalco. Have you seen him?
I think I have.
Yeah, he's very funny.
Let's face it, being a comedian
Not easy.
is that's a whole another level of commitment.
Yes.
Okay, that's tough. That really is.
Yeah.
There's no net.
Is there a bit of a comedian inside Lou Castro?
Well, I think because
There is
because
in
I
me. My father said you should have gone into comedy, Jim.
yeah because I paid attention to comedians
Yeah.
and am moved by what they do. I do have a bit of it in me. There's no question about that. You know, and a lot of the silent film movie stars like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton, or the Marx Brothers.
Yeah.
Guys like that really resonated with me for some, because I am a bit of a goofball.
Phyllis Diller.
I love
Oh
Phyllis
my God.
Diller.
One after
Phyllis
the other,
Diller.
after the other, after the other. You're trying to recover from one, and there's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
and another. Whew.
Mom's Mabley was another one that was a great comedian. Yeah. But there's so many of them.
Flip Wilson and
Oh, Flip Wilson's great. Flip Wilson's great. There's just so many.
Richard Pryor.
Oh, Richard Pryor was the best.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of Richard Pryor co-wrote the screenplay for Blazing Saddles.
That's right.
Okay, and those guys wanted him to be part of the movie, but the story that I got was the movie studios were afraid to cast him because I guess he could be unpredictable. But that being said, I thought Cleavon Little was wonderful. I thought Gene Wilder was wonderful. Those guys were, and Dom DeLuise and all those guys,
and
Slim Pickens, all those guys. I'm a big fan of Mel Brooks.
Here's a name I'll throw out: Toadie Fields.
I remember her. She was on Sullivan a lot, if I remember right.
Yes, and I believe Carson and Mike Douglas and
didn't they have her on What's My Line too? Okay, so yeah, I remember. Wow, that's going back.
Yeah, some of the real legendary comedians. Just so many.
Don Rickles, Jackie Gleason.
Don Rickles. Now, we were talking about that with a comedian that was on not that long ago, and he had said, which is pretty much true, a lot of the good-natured commentary that Don had in his repertoire, a lot of it he probably wouldn't be able to espouse now.
Oh, well, times have changed, okay, and for the better, okay. We have to be sensitive to what other people have gone through, okay. I think we have to be mindful of our history. What we were taught is not what really happened, and it's only now that we're coming to grips with that as people and as a country. And we need to know as much as possible so we can make this a better place for everyone to live, and we can live up to the ideals that we talk about.
That's right, exactly. Not just in the songs and the music and the parades,
Correct.
but in everyday
Correct.
life. Exactly.
Correct.
Beautifully said, my friend. Beautifully said.
You brought it out of me, man.
I've been told there's a way that I just swoop in very gingerly. I don't leave fingerprints.
Plausible deniability.
That's right, exactly. This was awesome. And again, we will definitely keep the porch light on for you and continue to climb on Mount Everest with the bullhorn and said, the Jim Masters Show live. We love it. And best of everything to you, health, continued success, and we'll have you back real soon, Lou, okay?
Thank you, sir, and bless you and your listeners. Take care, all right?
All the lovities, right?
Yeah, all the lovities. It's the lovities, right?
It's the lovities, yes.
All you lovities out there, Thank you so much. And let's make it a better year.
Yes, together.
Together. We're stronger together.
Well, I'm so glad we had this time together just to sing a song and have a laugh.
We'll do the music next time.
Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect, my friend. Thanks for all the time. Do you know we chatted for almost 2 hours?
We could probably keep going. We just need some more
I
coffee.
wouldn't doubt that. I would not doubt that. That's why we say we don't call this an interview show. We call it an entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, old school quality, modern vibe, modern twist of today, bringing back the lost art of, and I didn't come up with that phrase. Guests did. They said, Jim, you're bringing back the lost art of conversation. So we call these conversations.
Absolutely. That's what good friends do.
Yes. An interview is just, question, answer. Tell us about the book. Tell us about the CD. Tell us about the movie. See you later. And it's not how that's factory. That's assembly line stuff.
Oh, agreed. We want to know more than the surface stuff.
Exactly right.
And a lot of times when you meet those people, they're as normal as you or I.
Yeah.
And they would rather have that kind of interchange.
Exactly right. Just not really given the opportunity. Exactly.
Correct.
Well, okay. Good stuff. You take care. And as we say to all the guests, now go stretch those legs.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Get the circulation going. Enjoy dinner, my friend. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lou Castro, acclaimed bassist, singer, songwriter, producer, and I bet you learned a lot about him tonight. All the groups and all the music and all the people he's worked with and all the places he's been, the places he's going. Yes. And of course, We Three, the group he's in, and also Friday Morning, another, and all the fantastic music. Tonight we were having a chat. We were going to do some music. He was going to play live, but with copyright and YouTube, it's very, very, very difficult. However, there's We Three. He's going to, when he comes back, he's going to play live for us some tunes, which is really good. We wanted to have a really nice chat tonight. When we chatted, he said, let's chat, Jim. I'm looking for a good conversation. So we decided to do a nice chat. But of course, you can hear their music and his music all over the place. Again, that's We Three. That's OUI 3. We, of course, the French. Really cool having him on the show, wasn't it? Again, a real class act. Lots of fun. And again, a lot of mutual friends we end up having here, which is amazing. Really, that's how it goes sometimes. And I love it. And yes, Lou is now a Lovity. When I told Lou about the whole Lovity thing that happens here on the Jim Master Show Live. I mentioned it to all the guests before they come on. I said, you're going to hear the word Lovity bandied around a lot. And so just so you know what that is. And they're like, oh, I love that. That's fantastic. It's ingenious. It's brilliant. And it just happened to happen. Slipped out of my mouth. But we thank Lou for coming on the show. It was really a total blast. I want to give you an update here. Last night we had Nikenje on. She was extraordinary. She sang live several songs. We had an incredible time. It was her second visit. Emmy, Grammy-nominated international songstress, Broadway star. She was with us. George Hutton is with us tomorrow. We have a special early show tomorrow for those watching live. That is Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, England. George Hutton is back. Yes, and guess what? Not just George. There's going to be a surprise guest. Another singer-songwriter is joining George. That's right. He just told me today. He said, hey, Jim, I have somebody else I want to bring on with me. So there is a surprise guest tomorrow who's very popular, who's going to be joining me and George tomorrow on the show. So George is the guest. This is his return visit to the Jim Master Show Live. Irish singer-songwriter, lyric tenor, George Hutton. And George is bringing on another surprise guest. So join us tomorrow. Lots of music, lots of good times. That's on Sunday. And on Monday, our friend, my dear friend, and a friend of our show. This will be, I believe, her second visit. maybe third, but I think it's the second full visit. Our dear friend, cabaret star, singer, and author, Renee Katz from the Midlands of Flushing, Queens. She was here and commenting tonight as well. Yes, from the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, New York City. She'll be here on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then look who's back by popular demand. Dear friend, Lady Sandra. She toured with Frankie Valli for years, and she's an epic person. I tell you, thousands of people watched the first time she was on the Jim Masters Show live. So many comments. We had so many laughs and great music. She's on the show coming up next week on Tuesday. That's right, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Pacific here on the Jim Masters Show on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's going to be her second visit with us, and it's going to be epic. She's blasting it out. She's promoting it. She's telling everybody. We love when our guests promote their appearances, and we love when our viewers share the links and spread the word. You know, this show that you love so much, it really does help us when you give us a like on the thumbs up little sort of icon you see there on the YouTube channel, and you leave a comment on the YouTube channel, you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you spread the word by sharing the links on your social media. That really helps our show. It really, really helps. It takes a village, right, gang? And we continue to grow and grow with more new people discovering the show all the time. If this is your first time watching, me, and all of us here and our lovedies watching from around the world, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show Live experience. Absolutely. The incredible Christine Ullman is joining us too. She has been with the Saturday Night Live band for many years as one of the lead vocalists. She's going to be with us. She's the Beehive Queen as well, acclaimed singer-songwriter. She's coming up in March. This is rare. This is very, very special. She and I actually were part of a Celtic rock festival few years back that I co-emceed with one of my friends who's a news anchor for an ABC affiliate. And one of the performers was Christine Ullman. And that's where we met. So we stayed in touch and friends for ever since. And I said, hey, you want to pop on the show? She says, I love the show. I love the vibe. I love what you're doing, Jim. You tell me when. So we've been working around her tour schedule. She's been very busy. She's coming on as well. And again, you can see her on NBC on Saturday Night Live. She is in the Saturday Night Live band. She's right there. You always see her, you know, tonight, actually. It's Saturday. So if you're watching at 11:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, you'll see her there, I'm sure, as well, in the band from Rockefeller Center in New York City and 30 Rock and NBC, Saturday Night Live. She's going to be with us. If you didn't see the episode when Lisa Fisher, another legend, was with us, check back. Look back at our archives on our YouTube channel. You'll see the episode with Lisa Fisher as well. Gang, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now. Click the notification bell. We would love that. And show it some levity. When you click the notification bell, you'll never miss any of the episodes because you'll always be notified. Give it a thumbs up. Little icon there, thumbs up and a like. A couple more comments. Great guests coming up. Can't wait. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. You have a great rest of your day, Kathleen. Can we have a list of recommended artists, please? Think I'll bring pen and paper next time. Recommended artists. So you mean people that you would like to see on the show or people that are coming up? Because if you look at our YouTube channel and look at the category, when you are on our YouTube channel, right at the top, we have a new section to make it very easy for you to watch the shows that are coming up and also the past shows that have aired. 600 plus episodes we have done of our series, and they're all in order of how they aired and the ones that are coming up. It is a new section on our YouTube channel called All Past and Upcoming Episodes, or All Upcoming and Past Episodes. Right there. And when you click on that, or if you just scroll it, you can see the episodes that are coming up. And you can also, and we usually do them a couple of days ahead. It's so labor intensive to create every single episode. We can't post like every episode we have between now and a month from now. There's not enough time in the day. I don't have enough time, and there's just not enough time. So we try to get at least some of them posted and ready to go at least a few days ahead, because then we promote it and our guests promote it to their viewers as well and their fans. And so it's a whole circle. But the YouTube channel there, you can see who's coming up in the next couple of days at least. And then we try to stay at least a week ahead. Sometimes, I'm taken away on television shoots in the studio or on location or at radio shows or other things that I do in the industry. And it gets a little bit crazy. So we have a couple of assistants. Sue is helping, Kyle helping as well. And we really appreciate that. Thank you, Kathleen and Sherry Larson. Love it. You guys are great. Everybody that's watching, we really appreciate all of you watching around the world. Thank you, Jim, for another wonderful show. Enjoyed. Thank you very much. Love it. Yes, early show. And George can guess the surprise. Very exciting. Yes, I just found out myself. I didn't know who the surprise guest was going to be with George Hutton tomorrow, but he said, hey, I've got somebody else. Can we bring him on? And I said, absolutely, George. Let's do it. Let's do it. So there's a surprise guest joining George. Again, that's an early time tomorrow. Our show tomorrow, for those watching live, is 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. in the UK and in Ireland. And of course, anybody else around the world. It's 7 here. It's 2 p.m. here, 11 out on the West Coast. And of course, Central is 1 p.m. And then it's, you can figure it out based on your time zone. But if you start with the 2 p.m. Eastern and then work your way forward or work your way back, I think Australia may already be tomorrow. You'll be able to figure it out, but we'll be here. Thanks for tonight's show. Thank you, Jen, for participating and being a part of it. It was really, really fantastic. You guys are the best. We're going to scoot out. Very busy day today, and I wish you well. Thanks for being with us, gang. You're always the best. Our guests always love being here. We have a great time with them. I know you guys do, and we love having you here as well. Be well. Take care. Love one another. Keep smiling. Tell everybody about our series. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show live and show it our usual levity. We would love that as well. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at jimmasterstv. That's right. All those suspect places, I am there. And of course, our group for the show on Facebook is the Jim Masters Show Levity Hall. All right. Be well, gang. Hope you're smiling. If you're not, hopefully this episode will put a smile on your face. If you watch it again or you just enjoyed it now. For those that aren't watching live, you're watching this later on, stay right here. Another great episode comes right up. And don't forget, gang, you can binge watch all of the shows, our entire entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Kathleen Walker says, I don't know what I'd do without my lovely friends. You and this show mean a lot. Kathleen, thank you so very much, my dear friend. Right back at you. You mean the world to us as well. Really created something very, very special here. It's so special. You don't see a lot of this on the internet or elsewhere. This is something really cool that we've created, and you're a part of it. And Mona is as well. Good night, Jim and Lovedies. Was fun. Thank you, Mona. Good seeing you here as well. Night, Lovedies from Juanita in South Africa. Night, Mona. It's like the episode of the Walters. We all say goodnight to one another, and it's cool. All right. We love you. You guys take care. We'll see you on the next one. We'll be here tomorrow. Early show. George Hutton and special guest. I know who it is, but I can't say. We said we wouldn't say anything. We'll keep it as a surprise for our viewers and our fans. All right. You take care. Be well. And we'll see you on the next one. Okay. Your host here, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. Thanks for being with us on the Jim Masters Show live. Take care and be well. Cheers.